Charming Charles Trent Trifecta Thursday. Charles, how are you feeling? Any better?
I'm feeling a little bit better today. Thanks.
That's good. Yesterday, I could tell you're fighting it a little bit. Too bad. I was rooting for your 10 horse over there at 32-1, but still did pretty well to come in second.
Yeah, boy, that'd have been really nice.
Yeah, I wore the 10 in honor of that. There's a purple HRT 10 shirt. You can get yours over at horseracingtoday.net where it says HRT gear. Please make sure you do that. Help support the show. Another way you can help us out is if you like free horse racing picks. There's a link down in the description below for today's free Thistledown picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Kindly click on that. Channel Fury, the one horse scratch. So now Beer Chaser. What was your Beer Chaser, Charles? Mine was schnapps when I drank in the day, or maybe it was the other way around.
It's always
maybe some other things too. But anyway,
it's always bourbon for me. Always bourbon.
Well, you're from Kentucky. It could be no other way. They would deport you if you said anything else.
That's right.
They might send you to Georgia, some godforsaken place. Just kidding, all you Georgians out there. All right, and then last night on Horse Center, Sean and Jamie returned. Good show with Junior Alvarado. A lot of people very enthusiastic about it. Great thumbs up ratio. If you haven't seen Junior, great jockey. Make sure you go over to our Horse Racing Radar TV station right here on YouTube. While you're here, kindly hit that subscribe button and that bell so when we go live, you're notified of all the great content. I think going forward, you'll start to see more and more back to our normal schedule as we've had a little bit of personnel issues to create or to fix. In any case, that's that, Charles. Hopefully we got some bombs today at Keeneland in our second day. So Parks, Keeneland. What are we going to do in day 2 at Parks? Terry had a really good day. So maybe today you and I will have an awesome day.
Well, yeah.
What are we doing in race 1?
I'm going to swing for the fences today, so let's put it that way. In race 1, we have a 6 furlongs allowance of 50,000. Purse is 57,000, and this is for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of 50,000 or less, which have never won a race other than maiden claiming, waiver claiming, or state bred allowance.
So you better have your abacus out to make sure as a trainer you know what's going on there. We have our Excel out. And in our Excel sheet, we do 1,000 simulations using early speed to calculate our own fair odds. We're looking for a number in the simulation odds that's lower than the post-time odds or morning line odds, where the value might be. 1,000 simulations using early pace to get a sense of which horses have the best chance to have the lead at the quarter-mile marker. And then based upon that early speed, which horses are likely to get a trip that they're very comfortable with, one that mirrors some of their better past performances. Charles, it looks like this race has plenty of speed.
Yeah, there's plenty of speed in here. Of course, it's a 6 furlong race, but you have the one horse at 39% chance of getting the lead. I don't know if that horse really has to have the lead. I mean, there's plenty of other horses in here that could take the lead or have tactical speed sit right there second or third, like the 5. 5 might get the lead, so I think it's between the 1 and the 5. Whoever breaks open the gates first, that's who's going to probably most likely get the lead. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3 at 2-1, and morning line is 4.5-1. That's a nice little overlay there, and that's all we have in this opener.
All right, and then as far as our race shape is concerned, because we pay attention to pace handicappers here too. Look at that 5 horse, the one you said has a good shot to compete for the lead. Charles, if you can get the lead, that E horse could get confidence. The P horse, the 2 horse, the pressure horse should sit behind the 5, but it looks like the 1 horse, the PC type, ones that have a lot of versatility, that horse should, if it wants to, be able to set the pace. Although the 3, the 5, the 2, they're right in that mix there. It'd be interesting to see which of that quartet wants to take charge early. Late speed belongs to the 6 horse, Attaché, the closer, with a pretty good advantage over the next closest horse, Forest City. Of the speed horses, it looks like maybe that 5 horse has the most late pace. Overall, it looks like we have 4 horses up front, very close to each other. The 1, the 5, the 6, 1, 5, 3 on total pace, but pretty good edge over the 2 and the 4. That probably is your exacta or trifecta somewhere in there, Charles.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm going with the 1 on top. This horse won its last 2 races. This horse could be tactical speed. It doesn't have to have the front. And how would you like to be? You do everything right. You win 2 races in a row, and they still Geldenize you.
Well, that
Man,
horse might be afraid to go out.
hard to please his owners and trainers, right?
Yeah,
Um,
indeed. You're probably
wow.
afraid to eat now.
Yeah, no kidding. He's afraid to walk around the barn.
Yeah.
Ward gets 25% with 90 plus days of rest. And then the 3 horse is my second choice. This horse ran third last time out. This is third start after a layoff. Well bet last time. This is another one that kind of has that tactical speed, doesn't need the lead, could sit right there third or so. Then the 5. The one I think is going to take the lead. First, you got to toss out that last race at Kentucky Downs. Like we said, it's either you love it or you hate it. Mott
There's
gets
no middle ground. I agree.
no. And if you win there pretty big, it's hard for them to come back and win next time out, to be honest with you. So Mott gets 13% going from turf to dirt. This is his third start after a layoff, and you got Rosario aboard. So a lot of good things there for this horse. The 6 won its last time out. Trainer gets 20% first after the claim, but this one will be flying at the end. So let's see what it could do. I'm going with the Exacta box. My top
1, 3 Exacta box for Charles for a nickel. I'm going to start on that one horse. Let's start 1, 3, 5 exactly the same. That probably means low odds on every single one of those horses because I'm sure all the bettors see it the same. One Giant Leap ran the top last race. Speed figure was back in April. Has a bullet workout since, so probably going to pick up where it left off. And based upon its age, should probably see a speed figure a bit higher than the one that it left last on the track. Katath, 3 horse. Last race was better than its finish. The same fractions at 6.5 furlongs that it did at 6 furlongs. Cutting back in the third start after a layoff might be the key. Number 5, Forest City has the back class, and as we saw in our pace setup, if you can get to the lead, could prove to get the Lone E status, and that could help the horse grow in confidence. And finally, something we all can use no matter what we're doing. Good luck. The 2 horse. Resume says the second up should be or could potentially be a lot better than the first start after a layoff. 2 times this horse has won, and it's won at 6 furlongs. I think that was in like 6 races versus 7 at any other distance. How long do we have to race 2, Charles? Looks like we have a little bit of time before we get to race 2.
We got a little bit.
All right, so let's try to knock out race 2 real quick. What's happening here?
Race 2 is 6 furlongs. Maiden claiming of 50,000. Purse is 49,000. This is just for maidens, 3-year-olds and up.
Yeah, taking a little bit of a haircut there. The profile of a 6 furlong winner. Early speed, 33% of the time they go wire to wire. The rail is fair, so Tamashi should get a good trip. 2 and 3 get penalized, so Lewis, look out. 4 through 7, God, that's been awful. And then 8 and out gets a major bonus, Charles. So it looks like either have some rail on the speed in race number 2 or some speed on the outside.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to the gate. Kentucky's on time, it looks like.
Look out. All right, well, let's go back to race number 1.
Yeah.
We'll come back to race number 2, and we'll go through all the data again. So race number 1, let's talk about what's about to happen as they are in the gates. The 4 horse, that one looks pretty stout there, Charles, at 10-1. The 1 horse is your favorite at 1-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next up on the line is the 3 at 7-2 and the 5 at 7-2. The 6 is at 7-1. That one looked a little bit shiny to me, so maybe that one's in good condition. And then you have the 4 at 12-1 and the 2 at 14-1. They're off and racing, and the big favorite, the 1 horse, has shot out to the lead, which is what our simulation said it would probably do. You have the 3 horse right now. It looks like it's taken the second. No, it was the 5 horse that took the second position, but the 2 horses since moved up in them as they're trying to put a little bit of heat on the 1 to keep it honest. So it looked like he got off to a pretty easy lead without working all that hard. It'll be interesting to see what the fractions look like as they go through the corner 22 and 6. So not all that fast in there. Charles, you have the 1 to its outside, the 5, the 2 on the rail. You have the 6 horse, the one I said looked kind of shiny going into the gates there. He's up into 4th place right now. It's going to be forced really wide, probably 3 wide to go find its way towards the front. As they come down the stretch, it looks like the 1 is going to try to herd the 5 horse. But the 5 horse looks like in the end here, it's going to overtake that 1-1 favorite. So it looks like you're going to get 5 and then 1. And the question is, who's going to get third? Probably the shiny 6 horse that I don't have in my trifecta. 5, 1, 6. But if I were at the track, I probably would have had that one in my trifecta because that coat looked really nice, Charles.
Yeah, the 1 and the 5 ran opposite races that I thought. I thought the 5 would go out in front, the 1 would sit second all the way around. It just went the other way.
Yeah, the only horse I didn't have in the back end of my picks, my trifecta. You know what? That's just dumb on my part, right? I should have just put the other one in there for another $2. But you got favorite, probably won't pay that much. And if I had put the other one in there, I'd probably break even at best, I would guess, right?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. All right, so we were on race number 2. We were talking about the all of the different data here. So let's just start with the data again, Charles.
Okay, race number 2. We got the 3 that has a 40% chance of getting the lead at the quarter pole. But, the 4 might have a say in that. I personally think the 3 is going to have the lead at the quarter pole. So when it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3 itself again, 2-1 and 3-1 morning line. We got the 4 at 2-1 and 4.5-1 morning line. And then we got the 8 at 3-1 and 8-1 morning line. So you got a couple of overlays there in this race.
Yeah, a couple of overlays. You got some interesting C-zone combinations here too. Looks like the 4 horse Lundberg with the strongest Z-zone, also second best chance to be up towards the front where speed does help. Post position away from that 2-3, but 4 has stunk and the overlay. So if the 4 can get up to the front, maybe clear those inside horses, might be a little bit of a task. That could be one to keep your eye on for the back end of your exactas, trifectas, maybe even on the winner circle. In that race, yeah, look at that. That 4 horse did not know that, Charles. If it can get to the front, I mean, I did know, but I forgot. But the 4 horse could be your loanee. It also has the most early speed but it's going to be a contentious start between the 1, 3, 6, and 4. They're going to have to get out and get after it. With 2 horses to the inside, the 4 could fight it to get to the lead. Looking like the late speed is going to go to that 3 horse, the pressure one. So I would expect the 3 to cede to the 4, let the 4 take the lead if it wants, and then the 3 to kind of sit in that catbird seat, as you call it, Charles. Try to use those late legs to bring home the bacon. Total pace, not surprisingly, belonging to the 3 horse there. 4 horse at that early speed going to be right in that mix. You have got 4 horses in here, Charles, within 6 points of each other. 3, 4, 6, and 8. Total pace is your answer. Your winner is in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I ended up with the 8 here, the way the race is setting up, I think. This horse cuts back in distance. This one definitely has tactical speed. Blinkers come off today. Get it to relax a little bit. And unfortunately, something else came off too. He's a first-time gelding. So he's a little angry.
Well, now we know why the one didn't run in that last race, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you win 2 races in a row and then you get gelded. That just, woo.
So I'll show you.
No, I'm sure there was something medical-wise that they probably had to do it, probably.
Maybe the Andy B. and Cohn angle. They were just a little too big.
Maybe. And, Tyler's aboard this horse, though. I think the 8's got a good shot here in this race. The 3 is my second choice. Like I said, I think it's the speed that will be out in front. First-time Lasix. Drops in class, back on the dirt. So I think there's a lot of positives with that horse. And then when it comes to the 1 is my third choice. This horse ran even last time out, well bet last time out. Tries the dirt today. Trainer gets 17% when he takes him from a maiden to a maiden claiming. So that's a good little angle. And then the 9 is my final price horse, or if you want to call it price horse, at 3-5. I mean, not 3-5, but 4-1. If you toss out that Kentucky Downs race, which is last race, this horse drops in class, adds the blinkers, and this horse totally fits with this group, so might pick up the piece of the pie. I'm going with my top 3 picks to start off my pick 4. It's a big pick 4. I'm taking 3 here, and my top 3 in the second leg. my top 4 picks in the third leg, and then I go my back to top 3 picks in the final leg.
Yes, you invested a big portion of our $100 budget. Hello, good luck to you as well. That's it. And that's it. How are you today? Thanks for joining us. I like the 6-horse Charles, one that unfortunately you don't have, so that makes me a bit nervous or a little bit more confident, one or the other. Did run the best speed figure last out. It was at this level. All of the race internals were better across the board, and cutting back in a little bit of distance here should help this horse. Number 3, Off the Clock, showed some early pace in its last race, gets the first-time Lasix. Since it's gotten the dose of Lasix, has a bullet and go workout. So I would expect some more speed and a little bit more endurance from Off the Clock, thanks to Lasix. Huntsville, maiden special weight dropper, and probably of all the horses in this race, Charles, and maybe why you have it up top, the most room to improve in this start. Then finally, the 4-horse Lundberg. Could be the pace setter. We saw that through all of the data. Potential lone E-horse if he can get out front, but be a lot of competition out there. I think he'll be out there and then just kind of fade at the end, fade into 4th. At least I hope he doesn't win. Because my pick 4, I'm starting with the 3, 6, and 8, with the 5, 8, 1, 8, 6, 11, and then 3, 4, 7 in the back end. Hopefully, one of us or both of us. There's many ways for you and I to come home both winners. El número race. There we go. That rhymes, so I have to put that together a little bit more often. This one, for whatever reason, is about 7 furlongs. Any kind of insight on that, Charles? I mean, it's not on the turf course or anything. So I don't know. Why would it be about 7?
I actually did a little research trying to find out why, because they have. I have no excuse. That's it. It shouldn't be about. It should be 7.
All right.
Claiming price of $30,000. Non-winners of 2 life. Purse is $47,000. For fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
All right, one-time winners at about 7 furlongs. Well, at 7 furlongs, tactical speed does best. Very few, only 1 out of like 16 have gone wire to wire. So pretty small number there. So you probably want to be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, somewhere in that catbird seat. The post positions, inside 3 play fair, 4 through 7 get penalized. 8 and out is where all the action has been, Charles. So race number 3, some tactical outside speed. Maybe not the fastest, but one that might be there. But there looks like one that's going to dominate early here.
Yeah, we got the 5-horse. That's 90% chance of getting the lead at the quarter pole. I do believe that to be true. I really don't know who's going to go and push this horse in the beginning, so might have an easy lead at the quarter pole. But we'll see. The question is, can he hang on? The simulation odds, we have the 2 at 2-1, and the morning line is 3-1. The 3 at 8-1, and the morning line is 15-1. And then we have, look at that 7, 2-1, and the morning line is 20-1. Now talk about an overlay.
Big overlay and strong C-zone. Concerning, that might be one that you want to stick in the back end of your trifectas, folks, or your exactas. That one might be able to surprise with that strong C-zone and big overlay. Let's see if it has any opportunity from a pace perspective to get the job done. Look at this. You got this complete right triangle. Everything's weighted to the right. Mostly middle and back type horses. That means if this 2-horse, Minnie's ready, can get to the front, it could probably get away with some decently modest fractions. It looks like the 5 is the one, about a 6-point advantage over that 2. So either one of those guys go out front, gets an easy lead. Might not have to work all that hard to stay out there, Charles, giving that 5-horse a little bit of an opportunity for some late race life. Late speed does belong to the 1-horse, Water Fight. That one looks like it wants to pressure, but could find itself at the back of the pack, so make it have to weave its way through traffic. Might not be something it's comfortable with. Total pace figures, that one ranks out. We're looking at a couple horses here that should rank out. 8, Royal Blood. 2, Minnie's Ready. Those 2 are well above the rest of the pack in here, 7 points ahead of the rest. The rest of them are all grouped up. So if the 8 or 2 comes home your winner, Charles, could be a big scramble to get 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. How do you see it?
8-2, 2-8, 8-2, 2-8. I think it's a 2-horse race. The 2 is my top choice. It's got tactical speed. The trainer gets 15% first in the claiming race, and then trainer also gets 20% when he ships them in. So a lot of pluses with the 2. I think the race sets it up for the 2. The 8 is my second choice. This one has some tactical speed. It sits there. It'll sit there second or third all the way around. One last time out, you got Tyler aboard, so why not? Now the 5 is the interesting horse in the whole group. I think has the speed. Probably most likely will have a lone lead. Question is, can he hang on? This is his 3rd start after a layoff. Dale Romans gets 15% with that angle. Garcia Martina stays on this horse, knows this horse, but hasn't done much with him. So we'll see. The 3 horse is my final choice here. This horse has some tactical speed. Trainer gets 17% going from turf to dirt. 2nd start after a layoff. Trainer also gets 17% with that angle. So if you go back on my pick 4, I took my top 3 picks in this one. So I think it's the top 2 picks race to lose, but I think if anybody's going to win, it'd be that 5 on the lead, maybe.
So pick 6 at Keeneland here for our good friend Melvin. If you have some picks like Melvin does, share them kindly in the comment section. He likes 3, 7, 10 in race 5, 4, 5, race 6, 3, 8, 12, race 7, race 8, 4, 7, 1, race 9, singling up the 11. Got some gutsy call there. And then the 7, 10 to close it out in the nightcap, race number 10. I think that 5 horse, Charles, you said maybe if there's one to upset it, I think maybe it has just a little bit too strong of a chance to be on the lead with the top C-zone score. We've seen that combination win a lot, especially if a horse can get away with an easy-ish lead, which I think could happen. 7 furlongs, that tweener distance is the question in here. If it were 6, I would say probably no doubt. Yeah. Number 8, Royal Blood, coming off the maiden claiming win, did run the top last race speed figure last time. I was 10 points better than the next closest horse. That's a big gap. Everyone's either going to have to come up or that one's going to have to come down. A bunch of maintenance workouts since that last race in July. It means a horse should come back about where it was, maybe a little bit better, maybe a little bit of regression, but not a big difference. Minnie's ready. Ran a tiny Z pattern last time out for the 2 horse. Been close to winning at this level. Just needs to find a little bit more. And I'm not sure if there's a little bit more in this horse just yet. Number 6, Miss Tappy Tone is the 4th pick. Its best race was its debut. Then it regressed in 2 races afterwards. Put the horse in the barn, give him a little bit of rest, bring him back out fresh like its debut, and see if indeed he can repeat that off the sidelines with a good performance pattern, I guess. Not really a pattern if it's only happened in the debut. For me, at Superfecta, I'm going to go 5-8, 5-8 with the 2-6, with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. I have no idea why I put the numbers out of order, but I did. But nonetheless, that's how they go. It's supposed to be 1, 2, 3. Hold on. What is it supposed? Oh, I got this messed up. It's supposed to be 1. No, that's right, because the 5-8, 5-8. Never mind, folks. I'm foolish. There we go. On to race number 4, Charles, as I confused the living daylights out of myself.
Yeah, I think you were confusing me too.
Yeah, I think I'm just confused. You know, Jay Marco said when you get older, the first thing to go is the cabeza, and mine is definitely gone. Mensa, but not in the society in a society way. Back to 7 furlongs for real, not the about 7 furlongs, Charles, for race number 4.
It's the 7 furlongs, and they're running the same. Yeah, everything. Maiden purse is 70,000. For fillies, 2-year-olds. That's it. Pretty simple.
Yes, this is to draw the name out of the hat bag. You can get some big bombs that can come in at this level, Charles. So 7 furlongs again. Tactical speed doesn't necessarily translate to go wire to wire. Inside 3 are fair. 4 through 7 get penalized. 8 and out, that's the best place to be. So barbell, be inside, be outside, have tactical speed. Don't be in the middle. In race number 4, a lot of these horses, first, second, third start somewhere in that range. So not a lot of data, but from what we do have, this is what we see.
Yeah, what we have is the 27% chance of getting a lead at the quarter pole. Remember, This is maidens, 2-year-olds. So we might have some speed in there that are hidden that we can't quite see from works or whatnot. So I think this is more of a wait and see. But I think the 4 right now at least has that edge on that. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 8 at what's that about?
About 3 to 5, maybe somewhere in
About
there.
3 to 5, 4 to 5. And the morning line's 4 to 1. So that's a nice little overlay there, and that's about it.
And then you got one horse, the Baytown Kitty Cat, with the top C-zone score. Everybody else kind of, again, a lot of data here is incomplete, so it's kind of difficult to say. In race number 4, our race shape, got a bunch of them, 2, 6, 9, 10, and 11. They're going to try their luck for the first time. The 5 and 12, those two haven't been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line in their limited experience. It means you got the 1, the 4, the 7, and 8 as your horses that have shown some ability so far to be at least interested. The 4 horse, Baytown Kitty Cat, that one's going to be your pace setter, Charles. It looks pretty, unless one of these first-time starters decides to get up and get after it with it. It's got a pretty good advantage over the rest of the field. As they come down the stretch, the ones that'll be moving the best late are My Side Hustle, 15 points better than the next closest horse. So if this horse moves forward at all in this race, Charles, could be difficult to hold that one off at the wire. My Side Hustle, 8 points better than Promise Me and Empire, and then a big drop off from there. So I'm going to say 8-1, and then maybe a couple of first-time starters might be where you find your money, Charles. Are you on mute, my man? You're on mute, my man.
I like the 1. The 1 ran 3rd last time out. Trainer gets 25% going from route to sprint. This horse, I definitely got tactical speed, and with that closing ability of it, I think it's going to set up very well for this horse. The 7, we're going to see a little something different out of the 7 today. They add the blinkers today, so you're going to get this horse well more focused. This horse was well bet both times it ran, so that's a plus. And Luis Saez is aboard, so look out for this horse. And then the 8 ran 2nd last time out, was 7 wide last time. Definitely will be closing strong. And then my final pick is the 11. Bred to be fast. This horse is totally bred. I love its breeding. Solid works pattern. Or John Ortiz gets 14% with first-time starters. And if you go back to my pick 4, I took all 4 picks in this race because it's a maiden.
Yeah, they're tough. My Side Hustle, the 8 horse, any improvement in race number 2 would be enough to win versus this group. Number 1, Promise Me an Empire, did tie for the top last race speed figure. Just needs to continue to improve in the 3rd start after its career debut to be enough to score at this level. Fully Entitled, this 6 horse, does have some solid back workouts and then a few maintenance workouts since. Horse might be one that can compete first time out the gates. And then you mentioned Anna Marita, the 11 horse, and John Ortiz, 14% of the time winning with the first time starters. If you look through the past performances, has a back bullet workout in there and then maintenance workouts afterwards. So I agree with you, Charles. Maiden, a whole lot can happen. But I feel like if the 8 runs any improvement, it could be difficult for the rest to beat this one. No bets for me here because I put a lot of my money in my pick 4s today. Like you, Charles, fence swinging like Bryce Harper, right? And then when we're done, we can give the
2 times in a row he did the old stare down,
and then you can get the Braves managers or radio talent or TV talent mad at us for the gesture.
Right.
All right, let's hopefully everyone's happy with us with our picks by the time we get to race number 5, Charles.
Yeah, race number 5 is 1 mile turf. This is a maiden for $100,000 purse. Straight maiden, 2-year-olds.
They're them damn 2-year-olds again. Surprisingly, the turf at Keeneland does favor early speed. In fact, a lot of them go wire to wire. So far in the races that they've done, 42%. Charles, get to the front, hold that lead. That's a big number, man. None of them have done it from the rail. St. Audubon's Key, maybe put that one in there for your 2nd or 3rd pick if you like it. 2 and 3 have been the best. 4 and out get a big discount. Again, limited number of races. So that's all subject to change, Charles. Looks like you want to have some speed with the 2 or 3 horse in race number 5, Charles. And, it looks like the 1 horse has the most of it.
Yeah, the 1 has the most speed to get to the quarter pole, 33% chance. But, there's plenty out there. There's the 12 at 38% too. So, the 12 really have to be gunning to get out there and get in front of that 1. So it depends. I don't know if that's what they want to do as a tactic, because that's using up a lot of horse to push that horse on from the outside like that. But you also have the 4 that's going to push that along, I think, personally. When it comes to simulation odds, we have what do we have? The 3 at just slightly over 3-1, and we got 6-1 morning line. We have the 7 at even money and 4-1 morning line, and that's all we have.
Yeah, and then you mentioned that 12 horse. If it can get to the front, looks like it won't be intimidated by pulling the cart with that strong C zone. So, potential to get up to the front and make things happen in the 5th race. It does have that lone E designation. Look at all these other horses here, Charles. In their races so far, almost all of them haven't been within 5 lengths of the winner when they crossed the finish line and they took the photos. He's a 12, 9 to 4 and a 10. That quartet, they showed some ability, at least in their races so far. Early speed wise, you're right, Charles. It's going to be tough, I think, for that 12 to clear, because you have the 1, the 4, the 2, the 5. They're not all that far off. So they have plenty of speed to its inside to get around before they head into the turns. Could be forced 3, 4 wide, not really where you want to be. If you want to come from off the pace, this 10, Zverev, I don't know what the hell that says. Look at that late speed there, Charles. That is stakes caliber late speed stuff. But this one could be way off the pace. So, it has to get a better start if it wants to have a chance. That late speed, though, does give it a chance as your top total pace horse. 5 points better than the next crew down in here. I don't know, minus a good start, that'll be close enough to get the job done. It was one I really wanted to put in my picks. I did in my trifecta, but I'm just afraid it'll be too far back. We both settled on the same 2 for our exacta.
Yeah, and if you go back on my pick 4 again, I went my top 3 in this one. So the 7 ran even last time out. I think that's not a bad thing for this horse. Cox gets 23%, 46 plus days of rest, and he gets 28% on their second race. So a lot of good combination there. He's bred for the turf. The 3 is bred for the turf also. Ran even last time itself. You got a hot jockey trainer combo in the last 14 days with 3, so kind of look out for that 3 a little bit. And then the 10, like we were saying, I don't know. You're right. He has to be a little bit closer to do any real damage. This horse cuts back in distance. Sherry DeVoe, like I said, she's hot trainer right now. She gets 18% with her second race. This horse drops in class. Her horses are running very, very well. I see this one flying at the end. I personally think it might be a little too late, but if it goes closer, like sits 5th or 6th, it'll probably win.
Yeah, they want if that horse is anywhere near the front coming out of the turn, it shows that same energy at the end. There's no holding it off.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny. But and my final horse, the 9, which I believe has a good shot of taking the lead right around the half-mile point. Ran second last time, but it was at Kentucky Downs. I'm wondering, will that take something out of this horse? And this horse drops in class today.
Yeah, Melvin says you don't overlook the 5 in race 5. Akabi Mau, 30-1. Half brother to Wise, Wishes and Dreams, won 5 times at 6 furlongs, finished 6 behind Informed Patriot, went 4th and 7 at 20-1 on his race course debut at Churchill Downs over 7 furlongs last month. Do not dismiss. Our good friend Christopher D'Souza, race 5, likes that 12 horse with that outside speed with the 1, St. Armand's-Key, and the 7 in there. Chris, good to see you again. I like the 7 horse in here too. Radio Liberty tied for the top last race speed figure in its debut, which was on and off track. So the move to turf shouldn't be much of an issue there. Has great grass breeding, Charles. And trainer Brad Cox, I don't need to tell you that dude wins a lot. but 28% of the time when the horse is making its second start. Gould's Gold, that's mustard, I guess, right? Slowest start in its debut. Good turf breeding as well. Any move forward in race number 2 of its career would be more than enough to get the job done, especially if you can get off to a little quicker start. Mandatory meeting. I'm going to take a flyer right in here at 20-1. Long shot with a chance. In its debut, Charles, that horse was 4 and 5 wide going through the turn. It means it had to make up a lot of ground. A little cleaner trip today. Maybe he can go off at a price and hit for us. Number 9, Thomas Aquinas. This is our good friend Christopher Parmalou's angle. Finished second 2 times in a row. Was a little bit faster last time, but I am really concerned about that 10 horse. As we mentioned, has crazy late pace in its debut. Just get a little bit closer to the front, man, and they could really have a hard time dealing with that one as they come down the stretch for the photo. We have a few minutes before we get to race number 2. Charles, we have more than enough, I think, to cover race 6, especially if we giddy up and go. Again, another one that is exactly 7 furlongs. Not the approximate, but the 7 furlong run.
Yeah, I think someone was drunk when they did the approximate.
Mm-hmm.
The 7 furlongs, claiming price of $40,000. Purse is $53,000. This is for 3-year-olds, which have never won 3 races.
Or they're 3.
Or 3-year-olds.
3. I guess I don't know what. Maybe the person was drunk who wrote that too. Again, we talk 7 furlongs, tactical speed, wire to wire is not necessarily the best place to be. Be inside, be outside, don't be in the middle. In race number 6, the speed is in the middle, so they'll let those guys burn themselves out maybe. And well, we don't want them to burn them out, Charles, but 5 is going to get to the lead.
Yeah, the 5 has a 58% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. I believe that to be true. And there's a couple other horses that might want to push the horse, like the 4 or even the 2. They might want to push a little bit, but I think the 5 is going to have an easy lead out there. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 1 at even money, and we have 3-1 morning line. We have the 2 at 2-1, or almost 3-1, almost, and 8-1 morning line. And then we have the 7 slightly under 4-1, and we have 4-1 morning line.
And then that C-zone score and the overlay, really nice scenario there for the 2 and for the 5. Strong C-zone, strong chance to be on the lead. Should not be uncomfortable if it is indeed the one doing all of the work early on. In the 6th race, Pace Shape says that it's a pretty balanced race here. A little bit more middle back than forward. The 5 horse doesn't necessarily need that lead as an EP type. So that one could get a really good trip, Charles. Although when you look at that early speed, it's got a 9-point advantage. That's a 2-length lead over everybody else. Maybe the jockey saves a little bit early on, so he doesn't have to use all that to have a little bit more at the end of the race. At the end of the race, though, that 2 horse, Stone Vicious, which should be sitting in that 2nd spot, has a really good chance to really close hard in this race. The 2, 7, and 6, clearly your best late runners. As far as our late speed, total speed combination is concerned, Good Heart, just a touch better than Stone Vicious. And then those 2 rank out pretty much ahead of everybody else. You see tiers here, 5-2, 6-7-1, 3-4-8. We'd probably tier them up like that too, Charles. How did you pair them up?
I mean, I really like the 5 here. The 5 is going to be, I think it will go out to the lead by itself. Santana is really good with speed horses. You toss that last race at Kentucky Downs. Like I said, they either love it or hate it. Drops in class. Walsh gets 23% going from turf to dirt. I think this horse is going to have its way with this field personally. The 7 drops in class today. Trainer gets 17%, 46 plus days of rest. Got tactical speed. Trainer also gets 22% with shippers, so a lot of good things there with this horse. The 1 is my 3rd choice. Will be sitting probably about 3rd or 4th round. Ran 2nd last time out. Cuts back in distance. Got a hot jockey in the last 7 days aboard. And then my final choice here, my price horse, the 4, tossed that Kentucky Downs race last time out. This is his 3rd start after a layoff. Trainer gets 20% at that angle. This one will be definitely closing at the end. for the exotics, but are they going to all catch the 5 is the main question.
I can start with the 5-2, Good Heart. I think that one has too big of an early pace advantage for the rest of them to catch up. And the one probably won't have to work that hard in there. Big drop in class to boot. So we'll see if indeed it can take advantage of its early speed. Money Run, we'll try to make a money run here as the simulation favorite. Upped its speed figure in the last 3 races with the top last race speed figure. That 3 in a row is an alpha angle, according to Barry Meadows in his book, The Skeptical Handicapper. It's taking a big class and track rise, though, so I could work to its disadvantage. Number 4, Mumyaz, making that turf to dirt angle, as you mentioned. The last time the horse made that surface switch, it came home the winner. Charles, this is your favorite third start after a layoff for Mumyaz. Carmichael, the 8 horse, was a tough call over that 2 horse that we talked a lot about, but has more Keeneland success with better numbers than Stone Vicious. I'm going to do exact the key box. That 5 horse either gets to the lead and stays there, or maybe gets edged at the end over the 1, the 4, and the 8. Looks like we're about to get running for race number 2, so good timing on our part there, Mr. Charles. In race number 2, the 3 horse Off the Clock is your favorite, co-favorite with the 6 at 7-2. And then after that, it looks like the 8 is 5-1. Well, the 4 is 9-2. So that kind of concerns me a little bit. Then you have the 8 horse at 5-1. It looks like the 6 horse at 1-1, and they're racing. Charles, not 1-1. I'm talking about 1-1. Nobody's 1-1, and they're off. And right now, you do have the 1 and the 4 duking it out, along with the 9 horse. A lot of horses in here, according to our simulation, with some chance to be on the front. The 1 and the 4 are the 2 that are setting the tone early. The 9 has settled into the 3rd position. 2 horse making a scramble up the rail there. We'll go through the opening quarter, a little on the fast side, 22.13 seconds. That 9 horse, Charles, is making an aggressive move on the outside. Is that 3 wide trip again that we saw from the 9 horse yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
The 4 horse is hanging in there tough, making that 9 really work. Maybe it opens up the gate to somebody else to come through here because they are kind of going fast. Looks like the 6 horse is going to try to duck down to the rail, but I don't know that anybody's going to catch that 4 horse. And, of course, it's always my next pick, Charles, that kills me in these pick 4s all the time. Although we do have somebody up here striding up late. I don't know that the 8 horse is going to have enough to catch. But he was going to catch him at the
I don't know.
Yep. 8, 4, 6, and 9. 8, 4, 6, and 9. So a collective for both of us on our
wow,
Charles.
That 8 flew at the end.
Yeah, they were going kind of fast. And it kind of shocked me that the 6 couldn't close into that, to be honest with you, because they were cooking up front. 45, they ran under 46 and a half. So, and they ran under 49 for 5/8. That was some pretty good fractions in there. And that 4 horse looked like he was going to get away with it. But
that 8 just ran a phenomenal race.
Yeah, he did. Perfect timing. Way to get up there and save both of us, Mr. Charles. But if you're 486, a little bit of in the trifecta box would have had that too. All right, Charles, that wraps up race number 2. I think we're on to race number, what race are we on now? 8? 7. All right. Thank you for keeping track because I cannot keep my mind on multiple things at once. All right. So race number 7, yes, thank you, because that was up there. All right. Race number 7, Mr. Charles. Race number 6, Christopher D'Souza, back to that one, likes the 2 horse. Off to race number 7.
Okay.
Our picks. What do we have?
We have, at first, it's a 7 furlongs, 1 mile on turf, maiden, 100,000 for just maiden 2-year-olds.
Again, anything can happen race. Mile on the turf we mentioned does favor horses that can get to the front. Early speed wins more than their fair share, about 40% of the time. None of them have made it from the rail, though, based upon the morning line odds. Doesn't look like time use is going to change that. Today, 2 for 3 has been the best places to be. 4 and out, they get discounted too. So 2, 3, everything else, but not a lot of data so far. So again, those numbers are subject to change. Does look like all of the actions in here, though, Charles.
Yeah, there's plenty in here, but the 4 has the best chance of getting the lead at 63% chance. And I think that's going to be the truth of this race. The 4 does have the best speed right out of the gate. But the 5 might have a say in that with 27% chance. We have, when it comes to simulation odds, I don't know. Do we have anybody? Oh, the 7 at 4-1, 15-1 morning line. We have the 8 at slightly over 3-1, got 4-1 morning line. And that's it. That's all we have for overlays.
Early speed, by far the best C-zone score. Edgar Talon maybe gets out to the front. Again, at 40-some-odd%, go wire to wire. That one should have no problem getting to the front, according to this, and won't have any issues being out there. Does it also, according to our pace, have a chance to get up to the front? Well, the 11 horse wants to be the E. The 4 does not need to be there, Charles. So we'll see if it decides to be a bit patient instead of really booking out of the gates, though. If it's normal, early speed tells you, Charles, that it has a good shot to get to the lead. 5 points or 1 length better than All About Tonight, which is one that hasn't been close to the winner yet in its limited experience. Just looking at this race again, you see over here, everything's kind of slanted to the right. So this should favor early speed, as most of the horses want to come off the back or just can't hang in there at the end. Late speed, if that is your deal, like Christopher D'Souza. Mill Street, the 10 horse, that never been close type. I couldn't get close today with this crew. Real Men Violin, the pressure horse, that one has a shot to be up in there too. Looks like it'll be a part of the early pace as well. That's why it's one of the horses that scores the best for your total. In fact, it is number 1 there. Real Men Violin. Charles, do you violin?
No, I do not violin, but but I will take the I'll take the 8 though as my top choice. This horse ran second, and all 3 times it's ran. Back on turf, cuts back in distance. This horse has that tactical speed to sit and let whoever on the lead, but most likely it will be the 4. And try to make one big move at this 4 at the top of the stretch. My second choice here is the 4. Definitely has the speed. I see this horse out in front. Ran second last time out. Drops in class. Sharp gets 24%. Second time out on the turf. And then my third choice is the 12. This horse drops in class. Ran second last time. Another one with kind of tactical speed. Going to have to probably need that from the outside. Well bet last time. Todd gets 21%. Second time on the turf. And then the 5 is my final choice. This horse ran even the last 2 times. Drops in class. Maker gets 14%. First time putting him in a route. So this is kind of the unknown horse. And I'm starting a new pick 4 here. After I hit my first pick 4, I'm going to be hitting this one. Starting with my top 4 picks here. And going with top 3 picks in the second leg. Top 2 picks in the third leg. And going right back to top 3 picks in the fourth and final leg.
All About Tonight. I'm going to go to the outside with Tireless, the 12 horse, as my first pick in race 7. It was really well bet in its debut. I think if it moves forward here, has a really good shot to be competitive. Although I think this 4 horse might be a little bit more than we think it is, Charles. Maybe even more than the morning line maker has it finished out to be. Finished second in its debut, hustled for the lead. But the horse that beat it, Charles, came back to win a grade 2 stakes race. So it didn't lose to some chump. Lost to a graded stakes winner. That's I guess a moral victory in your debut. Real Men Violin. So Charles, I think in the next show you and I ought to have a violin. This one next time, 3 times in a row, this horse has hit the Chris P. angle, finishing second. So maybe a little bit of a wallpaper hanger in here. Did up its speed figure in the last 2. And if it does it another time here, would be more than good enough to score. I'm going to go with the 10 horse Mill Street. Last time out, that horse missed the start in its debut. Just kind of hung around. Yeah, what's going on? Oh, we got a race. Took off. Better start here. And any improvement in race number 2 could be enough to score here. I'm going to go with all of the even number horses except for the 2, 4, 8, 10, and 12. I guess I missed a 6 in there too, but all even up front. My pick 4 with the 4, 7, with the 3, 5, 10, with the 7, 9, and 10. Charles, we both agreed on the last race. So if we get there and one of those hits, again, a chance for both of us to come home doubly happy on the late pick 4. Just some house cleaning there from race number 2. In race number 2, the 8 horse paid $10.98 to win. The 4, $6.56 to come in second. 6 horse, $3.52. The exacta 8-4, 35-34. The trifecta, surprisingly for 50 cents, 85-37. That's pretty good. I've had trifectas where 20-1 shots were in them and didn't get that much. And then the superfecta with the 9 for a dime paid 51. The double, 5 and 8. Charles, did you have that 5 and 8 double? No, you didn't do a double up front. All right. That double paid $20.08. Make sure you collect that penny, folks. 3 races to go. Race number 8 in this card. Again, we're going to go back to 6 furlongs, Charles.
Yeah, 6 furlongs, optional claiming of 125,000, non-winners of 2, purses 120. This is for fillies 3-year-olds and up. Well, 3-year-olds which have never won 2 races other than maiden, claiming, starter, or state bred, which have never won 3 races or claiming price of 125,000.
That's a big race, man. That's a stakes race purse for horses that could be bought in here. But I imagine a lot of these folks think they have high quality horses. 6 furlongs, again, does favor early speed when you look for that. 33% of the time they get to the front, they never give it up. The rails fair for Miss Arlington. 2 and 3 get penalized. 4 and 7 are absolutely the worst. 8 and out, a major bonus. So be fast on the rail, Charles, in race number 8. And indeed, Miss Arlington is. Or be fast on the outside. And that's primarily where you do find the speed.
Yeah, the 1 has a 61% chance of getting the lead at the quarter pole. Probably so. I also think that 8 has a shot at that. 15%. I think that horse has a real good shot at getting the lead. The 1 has, our odds are 7-1. Morning line is 8-1. And then the 2 is 8. We have it at 8-1, and we have 10-1 morning line. And then, and then that's 7. We have it, well, right around 4 to 5. Yeah. So, I mean, it's close to what it's supposed to be. So,
yeah. So if it goes off at 1-1, you're still getting a little bit of value on that even money player. Our race shape for the 8th race indicates that everybody wants to be forward. Boy, if they really push it, the 5 and the 2 could take advantage of it. It'll be interesting to see if that's how it plays out with this high stakes race. We're claiming price to 125 grand. Early speed, Miss Arlington, Black Forest, Aunt Becca. I mean, look at these. All of them want to be in there except the 5 or 2. They all have to be careful not to smoke one another out. The one that might be the most happy with that is the 3 horse, Wilma Mankiller. That one is AEP, doesn't need the lead. Might just sit behind those 4 and say, okay, you guys go ahead. You burn each other out. I'll be there at the end to pick up the pieces. Of the closers, the 2 horse, Magical Loot definitely has that chance to close into this. Maybe not so much to 5. That one might be overmatched according to its pace numbers. If you look at the total pace in this race, Charles, it is a wide open affair. All but maybe the 5, Lover Girl, with a shot to capture this one, despite the fact that this one's a 1-1 morning line favorite, maybe a vulnerable favorite.
Maybe. I don't know. The horse is really going to be tough to beat, the 7. It's going to be very tough. Won his last 2 times. Tactical. I think this horse has tactical speed. This horse is very well bred. Done everything right so far. Tyler's aboard. So if this horse is beat, then it's beat. But I don't know. It's going to be very tough to beat this horse. But there is plenty of talent in this race.
Mm-hmm. I would 125 grand to buy it.
I would not turn my head at owning any of these horses. Most of them. The 8, like I said, I think this is the speed horse to go out in front. This horse drops in class, cuts back in distance. Trainer gets 25% with 46 plus days rest. Well, I mean, that horse has got a lot to go. The 4 is another one with little speed, but I think it could be tactical. This horse, Cherie Deveau, like I said, she's a hot trainer. She's got 19% when she rests them up, 90 plus days. She drops this horse in class. Luis Saez is the board. It could be dangerous horse. And then the 3. The last 2. Trainer gets 32% with shippers. The horse was well bet last time. So, and it's a tough race, but I'm going to still say it's the 7th race to lose, but, it's not super confident.
So was it Wilma or was it Betty that was the man killer in the Flintstones, Charles? Which one? Which team were you on?
Oh, no. Not Wilma. Nope.
All right. So I like the 4-horse in here to upset that 1-1 shot. Aunt Becca. The reason for that is because this horse is going to come in from $150,000 non-graded stakes, gets a little bit of a rest from that race there, and that's some really good Keeneland workouts. So it's going to be its first start after a layoff. And when the horse made its debut, guess what? It won. So maybe one of those horses that runs its best fresh. The 7, that is that 1-1 favorite in there. That 4-5 still would be value. Did run the best speed figure by 9 points. That means everybody else, again, has to come up, or that one has to come down. In the last 3 races, that speed number got better and better and better. Again, that's the Barry Meadows angle, and does have a nice mid-race pop, which works out pretty well. That's those horses make those big move on the turn. You know, the old-time folks used to say, watch the turn, right, Charles? This one will be making its move on the turn. Miss Arlington, the 1-horse. This one has a really good shot to be your pace setter, Charles. And the last 3 times the horse got the lead and took that lead into the stretch, it won. It definitely grows in confidence the longer it is up front. Finally, Wilma Mankiller. This is the right distance. 8 times out, 5 wins, a second and a third for a high win rate trainer, Larry Rivelli, who's been winning at 32% this year. That's a big-ass number, Charles.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, to go after those big-ass fans. I'm all out of money because I spent it all on my trifectas and pick 4s. 2 races to go. The first of the late daily double is race number 9. It's a distance we didn't see yesterday, and the first time we're going to see it today, and the only time for that matter.
Yeah, a mile and 16th turf. Purse is $110,000. This is for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming, starter, or which have never won 2 races.
And at a mile and 16th, the type of horse that typically gets the job done. Only 6 races. Stalkers have really been the place to be, although 2 out of the 6 horses did get to the front and never gave it up. None of the 6 won from the rail. 2 and 3 garnered the most wins. 4 through 7, they played close to fair. 8 and out got penalized. So looks like somewhere between 2 and 7. That's the best spot on the track, though, Charles. Again, only 6 races doesn't really give you a data set of a lot of confidence, but maybe some inside tactical speed right in here could be the place to find horses that do well.
But yeah, the 8 is going to have the best chance of getting the lead with a 39% chance of getting that lead. So I actually think that one will be out there in front. There might be the 4 might push it along a little bit. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 8. Look at that. Just under 2-1 and 20-1 morning line. And we have the 10 at just under 3-1. We have 4-1 morning line. So there's a couple of overlays. One's a huge one.
And you got a lot of dark green. So this should be a race that everybody's comfortable with. To make a quick edit in here, for whatever reason, that got deleted. So I got to come back over here to race number 9, say that equals that, press enter, and then we see magic, just like that, behind the scenes, inside baseball. Our pace shape for this deep race, pretty balanced in here. A couple of horses in the middle that might get excellent trips. Mr. McGregor, who's now back into the drug testing for the UFC. You look at the pictures of that guy. He's gone from like this to like really swole. And then the drug testing agency said, well, guess what? We're not going to be working with the UFC anymore. Kind of an interesting story that developed for that company yesterday. Looking at the early speed, it does do all right, stalker type. So let's see who's going to be up front and who will be in the stalker positions. All these, a ton of them are going to be in the stalker position. This is a very competitive race early. It looks to be a pretty competitive race late. Though King Curlin and Fingal, they have a pretty good late pace advantage over the rest of the field. Although those 2 are going to be the farthest back for a bunch of horses that'll be up front. This, again, does look like a pretty competitive race, Charles, maybe all the way down to about here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 horses in this field with a shot to win. How did you grade them?
Well, I mean, the 3 I like. It's the way the race is going to set up. I think it's going to set up for the 3. This horse drops in class. Doug O'Neill gets 12% with 46 plus days of rest. This horse has that tactical speed, but more on the closing side. So all he has to do is sit a little closer. And I think this horse could be very, very dangerous in this race. The 6 is my second choice. Ran third last time. Drops in class. Steve Ashmanson gets 19%, going from sprint to route. And this is another one that could have a little tactical speed that could at least hang in there in the beginning and get one run in. The 1 is my third choice here. One last time out, second start after a layoff. Mott gets 19% with that angle. Another horse with a little tactical speed will have to sit there close to that leader or so. And then the 7 is my final choice here. This horse is a price horse, ran third last time out, third start after a layoff. John Ortiz gets 24% with that angle. This horse will be flying at the end. Will it be enough in time? I do not know. I doubt it very much. I do think the top 2 choices are the toughest choices that could have this race.
All right. I like in race number 9 to start off the late pick, late double. I agree with you, tall boy. Tough call for me over to 10 though. Those two are really neck and neck for me. But I gave it the top spot because the post position is a little bit better. Like I said, the 2 and 3 have done all the damage so far in the 6 races at the distance. Although King Keeneland, the 10 horse, did run the top last race speed figure by 4 points. So enough for excellent consideration. Turf, 6 times out, 1 win, 3 seconds, and a third. So maybe a second place horse in here. And at times, this horse has what I call top tier late pace where it borders triple digits. Number 5, Save Tripone, probably the most upside potential in this race, Charles. Going to go grass on the first time, but is less than a length from being unbeaten in a pair on all weather. Every jockey, every trainer that we talk to says the transition from all weather to turf usually correlates. Finally, number 8, All Choked Up. I'm going to take a flyer here on a horse that has run to par on this level, making its third start after a layoff. Unfortunately, no bets for me here either, Charles, to take advantage of that 8 horse if it indeed shows up. One last race to go for you and I today, but tomorrow we'll be back, Tom and I, for Foreign Fridays. We're going to cover Newmarket, that's in England, Caulfield, that's in Australia, and then Randwick, which is also in Australia. So 3 races or 4 races at Newmarket, and then 1 at Caulfield and 1 at Newmarket. So that should be around 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you hit the subscribe button here while you're on YouTube. Give us the thumbs up. We appreciate that. I want to say thank you for that to Gabriel Velez, Beverly Taylor, Rebecca Pollard Rhodes. Some handwriting, unfortunately, I cannot read, so I apologize. We can't see who gives us a thumbs up on YouTube, just a number. So help us boost those numbers. It helps us with their algorithm. Follow us on all of our social sites that are supposed to be down there below, but they are not. So I will fix that right now. Boom. You can see right there. That's where you can follow us. Last race of the day, Charles, is race number 10. What do we got cooking for race number 10 as I click on every possible button except the right one?
Yeah, and race 10 is 6 furlongs, maiden claiming of 50,000. Purse is 49,000. This is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
So, yes, back to the basics for race number 10. 6 furlongs, again, does favor some early speed in there. A third of the time they get to the front, they stay at the front and run straight into the winner's circle. The rail is fair for all in the call. 2 and 3, a little bit of a penalty. 4 through 7, boy, they've really struggled. 8 and out, that's been by far the best. So it looks like Charles be on the rail with speed or be on the outside with speed. We do got some speed on the rail, maybe a touch on the outside.
Yeah, you got the 2 with a 38% chance. But you also have the 3 at 33, and then you got the 1 at 23. I think they all have an excellent chance of getting that lead. So it's going to be a mad dash, I think, for the lead for the quarter pole in this race. It's just who's going to hang on probably, and it might set up for the pace horses or closers. So when it comes to simulation odds, we have do we have anybody? The 8 at 4-1 and 8-1 morning line, and well, basically the 9 is even money and slightly over even money on morning line on the 9.
All right, Charles. For the last time today, let's go ahead and take a look at our race shape for pace handicappers in the nightcap, race number 10. Pretty balanced race in here, but most of the horses, not really. It really leans to the left. A lot of early speed and pressure types in here. That means that 9 horse, the closer, St. Benedict's Prep, if it can be pretty close to the pace, could take advantage of that early tempo and maybe close into that. The 3 and the 10, they're going to make it their first journeys to the track today. See if they have anything to say about the final outcome. Our early speed does belong to the 7 horse. She's a small town girl. There you go. Has the most early speed by a little bit, but doesn't need to be up there. It can cede the lead to everybody else because it also has some of the most late speed in there. St. Benedict's Prep, that closer, if they go too fast, should have the ability to run down a bunch at the end. So keep an eye on that one as the race comes to a close. As far as your total pace is concerned, the odd numbers on the outside, 5, 7, and 9. They're a touch better than everybody else, especially the 7 and the 9. Charles, how do you have those two factored into your picks?
Well, I got the 9 on top. This horse ran even last time. Drops in class. Back on dirt today. Brown gets 24% when he goes from turf to dirt. So a lot of good things with this horse in this race. I think it's got to sit right there, probably about 4th or 5th, and he could make a good move as long as he stays close enough. Same thing with the 7. 7's about the same thing. Stay tactical, stay close. Maker gets 18% going from turf to dirt. Also gets 17% with 46 plus days of rest. Got a nice fresh horse here. And Rosario is aboard, so it makes him dangerous there. And then I want to take a new first-time starter here. The 10, the Dam has 4 winners from 4 starters. Bred for this 100%, and it's got a solid workout pattern, so why not? And then the 5 is my final choice here, price horse here. Adds the blinkers today. Trainer gets 11% with 46 plus days. Back on the dirt, so why not try for some of the exotics on that?
I'm going to go with She's a Small Town Girl, the 7 horse in their debut was one of her best races. Going to make a fresh run again today. Maybe the most consistent horse in this field. The 9 horse St. Benedict's Prep, again, horse could get a really good tactical advantage if everybody runs really fast. And if this horse can run back to its May 12th race, it'll make easy work of this field, and had a really good workout in the last one getting ready for today. Oh my God. Are they from New York or from Florida? I don't know. Sounds like my mom's times. But it's making its first time around the track for trainer Eddie Kennelly, who wins at 12% on that angle right there. Good works. And as you mentioned, Mama makes winners, Charles. Finally, number 8, Be Miss Hattie. Hasn't had a good trip. Good. I'm on that God right now. Hasn't had a good trip in any of her 3 races. If you can get a clean run today on the maiden special weight drop, could be a big factor. And a little bit of overlay in there too. No money for me, but I'm just going 7, 9, 10, 8. All the outside horses in a place where the outside have done the best. That wraps it up for all of our picks at Keeneland today. Christopher D'Souza, 412, exact the box in race number 9. Also says that the 9 was going to number 4 win in place in race number 9. You mean race 10 in here, Charles? No, race 9 because you got the 4. All right, 412. All right, that makes sense to me now. So once again, I am confused. Not hard to do, Charles, as we've seen illustrated many times today. Our total picks for the entire day of the card here. Race number 1, I do think the 5 horse came to win, right, Charles?
Race number 1, the 5, yeah.
Yeah, so it's gone 5 and then 8. Charles' top pick coming home first in race number 2. About 5 minutes or so to race number 3. Any final thoughts, Charles, before you and I get out of here for this week, and then Tom and I tomorrow for Foreign Fridays?
Like always, if anybody's interested in buying horses at any of these sales, we got the mixed sales. We got yearling sales going on. I will be at some of them. Give me a shout out to bigcasinoracing.gmail.com. So you can send me an email and we'll get connected and I could teach you anything you want to know.
So yes, indeed. Ask Charles at bigcasinoracing@gmail.com. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, you see it on the screen right there. Make sure you screen print that and then reach out to Charles if you have any questions at all about training, breeding, any of the above, handicapping, whatever it is that you have some interest in. Of course, we always thank you for joining us this week. Been a fun week, hopefully a productive Thursday at Keeneland on this charming Charles Trent Thursday. Before we go, of course, we certainly hope that all of God's blessings rain down on you. Again, don't forget, free track today, Thistle Downs. There's a link down in the description below. Already getting started on the Breeders' Cup stuff. You can pre-order that right now over at Horse Rate, a Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Link in the description on YouTube. Also, you'll find them over on our social sites. Make sure you subscribe to all of that. Our good friend Sean keeps everything there up to date and great content. Till we get together again tomorrow and then again Monday for Terry and I for Parks. We hope that every single thing that you do ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, indeed. Charles, you sound much better today, man. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Looking forward to getting together again.